Hi pals, I'm back. It has been, what, two and a half, maybe almost 3 years since I did a video podcast, and I was like, let's get back into it, really. I've been meaning to do it for a while. I've done some kind of video content and other things, but I missed sitting down yapping for probably quite a long time. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do and how I wanted to kind of get back into it, but recently I've gotten rid of, I would say, about 80% of my stash for financial reasons, to be perfectly honest. I'm still destashing it, so I will probably link my destash account down below just in case you want some deals. And I was a bit sad initially because a lot of the stuff I had left in my stash was quite sentimental. It was things that I'd bought from friends or I'd bought at special places, and I was like, I don't want to give this up. But then I was like, it's just yarn. It doesn't matter, and other things matter more. Paying your bills matters more. So I decided the way I wanted to kind of get back into doing this podcast. Oh, sorry, the lighting is not ideal. I have put some, maybe I'll sit forward a bit, like tried to cover the sun a little bit, but it's bright. Sorry, the way I was trying to get back into this is trying to finish some of my whips. I've got tons of whips. I'm very much, I cast on when I feel like it. I don't ever feel bad about having 60 bajillion whips. I could not fathom the idea of only knitting one thing start to finish. Like, it's just not who I am. But I have got a lot of things which I've started and then I've gotten distracted, and then I'm like, oh, I really want to go back to knitting that. So I thought I'm going to do a froggle finish. Now, I don't think this is all my whips, but it's certainly all the kind of like whips I've had out kind of ready in shelves that I can see. Like, there's probably some like deep whips somewhere, but I don't know where they are, right? So we're just gonna jump straight into it. I pulled a few of them out, so some of them I know, some of them I don't. So we'll figure it out. This one is a definite finish. I actually took this out yesterday as I was like trying to pull stuff, and I finished. I had like a cuff to I didn't even have to knit. I think I literally just had to bind it off. So I actually took it out, and I also blocked it because I wanted to see how long it was on me, and how much I've got left to go. Now, I do have the most boring part left to go, which is the body. But I am not knitting it super long. The goal is for this to be tucked into high-waisted skirts at Christmas. So I really just have like approximately this much left of the body and then some ribbing. So this is a definite finish. It is the Augustine's number something. It's knit in my own yarn and I really love it. And I have just today seen her latest Christmas pattern, which is kind of similar but not the same, that is coming out next week. So I might try and like put this on the front burner and try and finish this so I don't feel bad casting on the new one. So that's that one. Then I have this, which is the stripe pipe. I am going to be honest with you, I do not know the designer's name for many of these off the top of my head. That with Augustine, I don't know who this is, but it's a stripe pipe. Everyone knows them. This is knit using a bunch of different yarn colours that I can't think of right now. A bunch of coast to coast. I've got some, the box is so this is the state of my whips right now. This is chaos stuff. There's some suri in here. There's needles that are not related. I definitely need to organise. I do want to finish this. I have the rest of the yarn. It's in a bag over there. I don't know when I'll finish it because, again, I'm on the body now and I find that kind of, but I do want to finish this. I have modified the pattern slightly in terms of the size I'm knitting to my bust so that it wasn't super oversized, because for my actual size, like, the shoulder comes down to like here. So this one looks like it's going to fit nicely. I just need to have the motivation. I can see myself probably not finishing this or not going back to this until spring probably, but it's going to be on my list. I'm planning to try and make a list. Maybe if I have time I'll make it into some kind of like content as I finish whips. Who knows? Probably not, to be honest. I'm trying to pick the ones that I have been kind of semi-actively working on. This one I've been working on kind of on and off since, I think cast this one on in like March. This is the Rumble Raglan. It looks teeny tiny. I do not know if it's going to fit. We'll see. But I really like this. Even if it doesn't, I will probably use it as a sample because it's knit using my own yarn. I really enjoy this actually. Now that I'm on the body and I've just switched to like kind of shorter needles so I can go around pretty fast, I actually think that this is going to go quite quickly. So this is a definite like finish. We're trying to get through the ones that I know 100% I want to finish. So that's those three. Let's see what we have here. Oh, this is it's actually a pattern I'm working on. I swore blind literally 2 months, not even 2 months ago, like 3 weeks ago, I would never design a pattern. And then I started designing a pattern. This is, it's going to be a pretty basic raglan tee, but its purpose is not just your regular tee. The purpose of it is to be worn as like a wool undershirt, which if you live in Norway or probably other Scandinavian countries is very common to like use during the winter. My skin is extremely sensitive, so even like the merino bamboo versions that you can buy tend to make me itch, especially in the winter when I get quite dry. So I thought, let me try and like design like a knitted one and see if I can make it work. So it is roughly a sport weight. I'm using a fingering weight yarn and a super fine lace weight, and this is like a Surrey silk and wool, I think. I'm pretty sure my computer just thought I was saying Surrey and I wasn't. So this is kind of slow going because it's boring and it's stupidly, I'm knitting it in basically white. But once I get past the raglans and I can kind of test to see if my theoretical pattern works, which I'm doing in this adorable little cat book, my sister is going to sort of beta test it on her size, and then hopefully I'll end up actually doing it as a pattern. Let's do this one. This one I actually think might be my first frog. So it doesn't have any needles in because I already took the needles out. But I could definitely pick up the stitches if I change my mind, which is why I haven't frogged it. This is the Tessellated cardigan. And I do really like it, but it feels massive for one. And I know it's meant to be oversized, but I don't particularly like oversized. I don't know I don't know, because I love it. And I feel like it is very like, I'm sure the colours are going to show because of how bright it is. Not really. It's using this gorgeous spin cycle, which I love so much. And then it is using this like nice colour, which is mine. I think this is my purple from my Bridgerton collection, which the name I've Always Been Yours. And it also uses some fluff, which I know I don't have here because I took it out to test it with something else. So it has like a Surrey row and then this like really pretty kind of thing. But I started this early 2024, I think, and I got this far and I haven't gone further, and it just feels so big and I don't know. I think I'm probably going to frog it because I would like to use the spin cycle for something else. So this is going to go, it might become like a tessellated vest instead because I do like the combination together. So I might just go and try and do like just a different version. I just don't think I want to do knit flat. It's a lot of work. It's been sitting for a long time. I also really want to repurpose this bag, which is my Black Gold Magic bag, and I love it. And it's the only one that's kind of been big enough to hold all the stuff for this. But I'd quite like to repurpose it for something else. So that is a frog, I think. Yes, I'm going to frog that. What else do I have? Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, did I just drop something? No. This is also another one that I've been kind of actively working on. I'm quite proud of myself because normally if I put a whip down, it's gone in my brain, right? But this one, again, I think I started, God, that, that colour work is definitely going to need to block out. This is the Alpine Bloom. It is knit using my yarn again, which I think March, April I started it, maybe even May actually. So I'm using my newer silk base, which is an 80% silk, 20% merino, and I'm holding it with just a regular 100% merino fingering base. And I just finished the colour work on this at the last market I was standing at, which I think is why it is so tight. But then I just have the body to do, and I do think this is really nice, and I think I'll get a lot of wear out of this in, gosh, the lighting is not good. I think I'll get a lot of wear out of this in the spring. I was kind of unsure about the pattern at first because I felt like you probably needed a high contrast, and I don't love high contrast, but I actually really like the low contrast version. It's in the camera it's quite hard to see, but in person it's really not that difficult to see the pattern. I see that apparently I had a theme going on in spring, but I think both of these really complement my colours pretty nicely, so I suspect that this is also, for now, she's a keep. I do realise that so far I frogged one out of many, so well, I'm not sure how many of these will be finished, but I'm going to try. Okay, this one, I had to write down the name of this one. Got my list, I tried to remember, because I keep forgetting. The Lumate. So, this is the Lumate. It's by Sari Nordland. I started this around the same time I started the Alpine Bloom, because I just really like this kind of motif. This has been my year for colour work. I'm not usually much of a colour work person, but I've been really enjoying it this year. I am torn between this because I do think this is really nice. I think the colours are really nice. I think it could look really nice on me. I don't have much of the DK wound up left. This was my Persephone colour. I think I must have started these all as like samples when I was doing my Elysium collection. This is what I've got left. It was like an oops because it didn't dye quite as solid as I'd wanted it to. I don't think I have another skein of this put aside, but I probably have a skein like in stock that I could potentially use if I want to finish it. I mean, I've done the sleeves, they're finished. I just have to knit the body. I will probably knit it cropped. I just don't know if I love it. I don't know, it's just so not my colours, I guess. But for a sample, for the shop and for markets, it might be quite nice, because not everyone loves pastels, and at my last market I did notice like basically all of my samples are pastel. I think I don't know, for now I'm gonna say I'll finish it, but it's not gonna be a top priority, I don't think, because it's just boring knitting. I don't like boring knitting, but maybe if I've got like a car ride, because it's DK, so it's like quite quick. I mean, this is the kind of thing that if I really put my mind to it, I could finish it in a week. I just don't really know if I want to put my mind to it. So we're putting this in the maybe pile. It right now is a keep, but if I change my mind, I mean, it's a lot to frog. We'll see. Also, adorable bag by Little Acorn Yarn. I also want to show off this bag as well, because I pride myself on having nice project bags when I can, and I got this one from East Anglia Yarn Fest, which I vended at last year, and you know, maybe, you never know, maybe you'll see me there again next year, who knows. Okay, let's do this one. I do keep some of my whips in boxes. This is something I implemented at the beginning of the year, and I started using the boxes for something else, but I like this because I can see roughly the whip, so if it's on my shelf I don't really forget about it. I have ADHD, and I do have an issue with, if I can't see something, it does not exist. So I think I'm going to try. I don't think I ever got around to like getting enough boxes, but I might try and get some more of these and have like my whips more visible. So let's do this one first. I'm feeling like surely I've got more I'm going to frog. This is the problem. When I knit something, I like it. I don't really want to frog it, but I also would like to finish some. So let's see what we have here. Oh yeah, this is again, I've written this one down because this is the Movement Tee by Lily Kate France, I think. And I really like this actually. The yarn is 40 Winks Fibres, and I saw this yarn at Flock, but I don't really often buy DK yarn, and I also at this point had spent so much money that I was like, oh, I really should not buy anything else. Like, I am, you know, broke. But I really loved it, and I was chatting to Shan, who is the dyer, and I was just telling her, really, I think your yarn is gorgeous, blah blah blah. And then we all ended up going out for dinner later that evening, and bless her sweetheart, she brought me 2 or 3, I think it was 2, but it might have been 3 skeins of the DK, because I'd just been looking at the sock weight, I think, so I was like, I'm only going to buy a sock weight yarn, that she didn't have this colour in the sock, and so she bought me 3 of the DKs, and I love it so much. Like, and so I had kind of been umming and ahhing what to do with. I don't know if this is going to show up as nicely as it should, which makes me a bit sad, but it's really pretty. I feel like it's a very spring colour, despite the fact it's quite sort of brown leaning. So it's got lovely kind of spring greens, little mauvey tones, and I'm not one usually to knit in heavily variegated yarn because I don't really like switching skeins and stuff, and you can see pretty much where I've done some switching, but I really like this. So I don't have a whole ton left to do. I mean, if I'm here, I've probably got like a couple of inches left of body before I put on some ribbing. Those of you who've been here before know that I knit the majority of my stuff cropped, because despite being a large body person, a fat person, I don't actually like knits to cover my entire stomach, because I'm also very short and I feel a bit sort of drowned out. And if I want like a tight knitting top, because this is tight knitting, I'm going to want it to just hit my belly button, even if that means that my lower belly is very visible, obviously in pants or skirts, like not just out, not Winnie the Poohing it over here. So yeah, I think this one is very like pretty close to being done. I was working on this relatively recently, like in the last, I think I was working on it in summer, so that's a definite keep. That's probably going to go quite high on the just get it done list. So we'll pop that one. I mean, this is also where I can never find needles because they're all in whips. Pop that over here, and then we'll go to this one. Now this one I'm very torn on, because, well, I'll show you and we'll chat. So here is, it's the Champagne Pullover by Sari Nordland, who I have to say, one of my absolute top 10 designers. Like, I love the majority of her patterns, from her like heavily cabled ones to the colour work to the really simple. I just really like the way she does her patterns. So let's see, it's lots of gorgeous lace work, and I have knit this in the most luxurious fabric. I am using 50% merino, 50% silk. This is my Regency Romance base, which I used to have all year round, but now I'm kind of making more exclusively for sort of spring, summertime. And this is in the colour something. I don't remember what colour this was, but it's very like, are you going to be able to see with the light? No, probably not. This lighting was not ideal. It is kind of a creamy colour with sort of very soft, warm brown speckles. So it does show up a little bit, but it looks kind of overall sort of cream. And then rather than use a mohair or a suri, I wanted something that was less fluffy but still acted like a lace yarn. So I'm using, just like I'm using in my design, this very thin, like super duper thin suri alpaca silk merino. I think I might have gotten that wrong. It's going to really annoy me if I got it wrong, but I really like it because, can you see, it does have a very tiny amount of fluff, but it is not as fluffy as, you know, your standard lace. It comes in 1200 meters per 100 grams. So this entire thing should be my entire sweater. I will not need to like change. And I picked this color, which again, it just looks white, but you can sort of see it has kind of pinkish tones in it. So what I really liked with this is it kind of, it adds just a very slight pink tone to my already kind of creamy, warm, sort of what, winter latte, that's what it was called. There we go. It just looks white. Nope, hang on. There we go, you can kind of see it. It's sort of, it just looks white. It's sort of a creamy colour. Together, they just warm up slightly and it just fits my skin tone better, to be honest with you. So, I love the fabric. And I really like how well the cables are visible and they hold, even though this is obviously quite a floppy fabric. This isn't like very thick, so it could have been like quite hard to get good stitch definition. It isn't. I planned this, I think I started this last September. I was at the Bergen Sticker Market, I was talking to a bunch of people. This is one of the cardigans that we all kind of like collectively were like, we should knit this. We started up a little chat in my Discord and everyone else finished theirs. And I never got past it, and I think it's because you really do have to like really pay attention. The cable, one thing I don't love is I find the cabling very hard to see, like on the pattern. Like I ended up having to like kind of mess with the things, but I really have to follow it, you know, so like line by line, I had to like follow it. So I think it's just sort of, sorry, it was crinkly. It was just sort of taking up a lot of space. But I've got the back done and I've got a lot of the front bits done before I have to start doing my increases. Can't find the seam. There it is. You see it's like quite low on the front because it'll have a neckline, so we're already kind of getting close to like the bits where I'll need to join the body. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to frog it, but also the idea of going back to it is quite a lot. But I don't know if I'm just going to suddenly have that feeling of like, oh, I really want to do some cabling, and then I'd probably quite like to finish this. I suspect I will probably keep it, to be honest. The idea of like frogging it makes me feel a bit sad, so I guess that means I'm keeping it. Whether it will be finished, I would like to say I would finish this. I would love to be able to wear this next winter. Like, I know there isn't a cat's chance in hell that I'm going to finish it this winter, but I would really like to kind of work on it and hopefully wear it next winter. So I'm going to keep it on my list. I'm going to put it as like middling priority. There are other ones I would like to finish first, but like this is higher than finishing the Lumate, for example. Okay, let's have, oh, this is a deep whip here. This is my Bennett shawl. I think Bennett is the shawl from Larkspur Designs. This is using yarn from my lovely friend Brandy. It's a mohair stock, so it is merino, wool, nylon, mohair. This is the third colour for it. I bought this yarn before Brandy and I were very good friends, and I do take this shawl out basically every so often and knit like 2 rows and then I put it back. And I quite like doing it that way, and it means so much more to me now that Brandy and I are really good friends, because I remember getting these colours and just being so in awe of the way she'd done her variegated, and it was just such a beautiful colour. And I just can't see myself wanting to, well, I kind of just like having this as like a, oh, I fancy doing a bit of a shawl knit. So I'm going to keep that. Speaking of shawl knits, one of the things that I don't actually have to hand, because I didn't bring it to do this, I started the West Knits MCAL, my first one. Was very excited by the colours I'd picked. Loved the first clue, haven't finished it, but that was always my intention, to do it slowly. Quite like the second clue, absolutely hate third clue, ambivalent about fourth clue. So I suspect I'm going to frog that and use those colours in something else. But this one, she's a keeper. I might try and put her in like maybe a box that I can see, so maybe I'm more inclined to shawl knit more. And this, of course, gorgeous back is from the Fibre Fox. Let's do this one. Again, this is another kind of deep whip that I've just been working on relatively slowly for a long time. This is my self-drafted raglan using burn book from Salty Blonde Fibres and just a regular undyed Suri, because burn book is, you can probably see, highly speckled. Again, not usually into highly speckled yarn because I find it quite annoying when you get big chunks of speckles, but this one I really love. This was the last time I was doing any knitting on it and I managed about an inch, but I think if I stand up and show you, not so well, it's not that far off being done. In fact, I took this out yesterday because I was like trying to see what was in each bag, and I did not see that I had the sleeve on the needles, because this is, it's not bound off, but it's on a super long needle, which means I'm trying this on. So I thought, oh great, I'll just try this on and see how much length I've got left to do. Popped out half sleeve stitches. So that was a bit of a pain, but it did remind me that I think my plan had been knit the sleeves so I can see, and then block it so I can see the length, so then I can decide exactly how long I would like to knit this, because I am going to knit this not cropped. I would like this to be just below sort of jeans belt button level, so it could be kind of tucked in but still relatively long. And obviously I don't swatch, so I don't really know how much this is going to grow, so I thought I'll do that. So a bit annoying that I had to pick up a bunch of sleeve stitches, but I think this will be worth it. Every time I show this, and I have shown it multiple times, I'm like, oh, I would really like to finish it. I think originally it was for Valentine's Day, then it was for my birthday, then it was for the next Valentine's Day, then it was for my next birthday. It's been about 2 years on the needles. I would really like to finish this by next spring. It's such a springy jumper. I live in a cold place. I wear a lot of jumpers right up until May usually, so there's not a lot left to do on this one. I think it would be really sad to frog something that I'm pretty excited about getting to wear. I imagine this will be like an everyday wear for me, so that's a definite keep. If you're keeping track, I'm frogging one so far. That can't be right. Oh, there's got to be more. I think there's got to be more, surely. Let's have, okay. Well, this isn't one. Oh, well, I don't think so. Now, this is going to be hard to show because it's on needles in kind of a weird way. And this is obviously not for me because it's a tiny. This is, I want to say it's called the Sunday Tank, or I think so, Sunday Top, by Noelle Knits. It's a kid's tank top. The colours are Jemima Puddle Duck and Flamingo from Giddy Yarns. I bought them at the Woolmonty in March. I really like this. I just put it down because I was distracted with other things. I'm going to keep knitting it. I'm relatively certain it's going to fit my eldest, who it was intended for, and if it doesn't, it will fit my middle one. And it's obviously like, it's a kid one. It's not that far to go. I think there might be a car in it actually. The next time we go on a long journey, I think I'm going to do this one. I did make a mistake. It's not for me, so it doesn't matter. I think when I was doing, yeah, you can sort of see when I was trying to figure out the stripes on the straps, one side is more than the other, but I'm pretty sure the numbers all add up, so that is a keep. And let me just show you this yarn because it is so pretty. Like, they're so me. I almost wish I'd been like, I'll make myself a tank top. But I've got a tan, and my eldest at the very least is very much a pink girl like her mother, so gorge. Keeping, yes, keeping. Next, in this beautiful, but I can't remember the maker of this. I really can't, but I remember seeing, she's in the US, and I saw this bag and I was like, I absolutely 1000% need it. And I was right, I did. Got a little Christmas fabric on the inside, lovely. So, and this actually has a bunch of stuff in it, but only real one. Look at this, look at the stain of this. It's like mixed up with a billion different. So we've got like socks. I will say I'm not counting socks as whips because I've got socks in so many like various states. We're not thinking about those. that's something else for another day. So this is the City Tank by Tori Knits NYC. I love this. Started it a couple of years ago actually, I think, when I was doing a bunch of summer knitting, and just haven't really got round to finishing it because it is at this point just knitting the body, but I really want to. I think I will get a lot of use out of this, so I'm just going to continue on this one. I literally do not think I have knit a stitch on this since I was at Flock in 2024. Did I take it with me? I think so. It's very tangled. I'm going to have to do some, I don't know when I'm going to want to do, well, I guess probably as it gets closer to like summer knitting, I might sort of feel inclined to bring this out. I really think it's going to look so cute as like a little, oh, the neck looks very high. It also looks like it wouldn't fit. It looks like a child's. I'm pretty sure I've tried it on. I can't actually remember now. That feels very small, but the like armhole is relatively wide, so I assume it's just kind of a high neck. It just feels like that might choke me out. Oh, right. I may have to put this on some larger needles and give it a try on and decide, because it does look very small. But I can't really remember what it's. My sister just finished one actually. I might have to go and look at how hers looks. Oh, we have like a very different body shape, but still. What else do I have in here? Just the yarn. Oh, I do have just some sock yarn, wound up stripy sock yarn. I like to keep the one hand for when I fancy a touch of sock knitting. That is going to be impossible to put. We're just going to shove this to the side and we'll deal with it in a minute. Is that the last one? Surely not. Maybe it is. It's taking me half an hour to talk about them. This one, I guess it's a frog. This is the Sunday Petite Mini or whatever it's called, the Petite Knits whatever, and I started this, God, years ago for my eldest. She's 7. I do not think, she's 8. I don't think she's going to fit in this. Well, it's very stretchy, but I still don't think she would. The entire, it feels mad. It feels crazy to not finish this. I was so sure. I was 1000% certain that I was going to frog this. I don't know if I can. It's so cute. I wish it fit me. So this is knit using, I think it's using entirely the Fibre Fox. It was, she put out like a pastel mini collection a while ago. So it was like, had a full skein and then it had all these really gorgeous like pastel minis. And I put it into stripes. Do you know what I might do? Because I mean, I think that is correct length, I would say. I think I am going to pick up these stitches. I'm going to add ribbing. I'm going to knit 1 row plus a colour, add ribbing, and then one of my friends who has a little baby girl is going to get a nice adorable gift, because first of all, I think I would end up just legitimately throwing this away. The idea of unraveling this entire thing feels just insane to me. I might get the 5-year-old to fit. It's very stretchy. I genuinely was like, that's a definite frog. Like, there's no way I'm finishing that. I've like sewn the band down and everything. I don't know what I was thinking. I do not know why I did finish this. Again, I'm relatively certain I started this pregnant with my now almost 3-year-old son. So it was designed. Well, I guess it was designed for my 5-year-old at the time. So perhaps we'll see if it fits my current 5-year-old. Otherwise, Marlon or Hannah, watch out. You're getting some knits for Christmas. And that is kind of it, really. I think, unless I'm missing something. I don't think so. I've got, oh, I know what it is. But where did I put it? Took too long to find. This is my most recent project, hanging out in my lovely little Trader Joe's bag from Brandy. I'm impressed now. the reason I'm like kind of surprised is I've had this on the sofa with me, which is my designated knitting area, all week. I even looked at it this morning and was like, oh yeah, don't forget when you do your video to include that, because that is a recent whip and you have got feelings about it. Oh, running out of breath. And then I mislaid it and I've just found it and I can see there's some stitches coming apart. Anywho, so this is my final whip. It is the Ooey Gooey cowl and I don't know how I feel about it, which makes me kind of sad. So this is using some hand spun yarn, which is this beautiful hand spun yarn here. This is dyed by Lauren from the Little Fibre Go and lovingly hand spun for me by Brandy from Long Dog Yarn, and I love it. It's all cute pastel colours, it's like barber pole, very nice, sort of kind of spin cycle-y vibes, and I paired it with My Little Soda Pop on Surrey, which is my yarn, and I just don't know if it's too bright compared to the hand spun. Like in my mind I was like, oh, lovely pastel bright pink is very cool, but I don't know if it kind of like dulls it out. But also I don't know, I just don't know how I feel about it. I put it down, I've been like working on this basically every day for a couple of weeks, for a week or so, but I did put it down because I switched to knitting tiny baby hats for children in Gaza. This is actually being filmed during my 24-hour knit-a-thon to knit hats, but I had to give my hands a little break, so I put that down to knit these and I have to decide if I'm picking it back up. I don't have a super like urge to pick it up, but it's very satisfying to knit, and because it's like a relatively small circumference, I feel like it's kind of a good bag knit. But then I'm like, do I want to use this hand spun? Almost, it would make more sense I think to use the hand spun. This hand spun perhaps would maybe be a better mix for kind of the vibe I'm going for. So I could like start again, let's face it, and then save this hand spun for a project where it would stand out in its own right. I think maybe with a lighter colour. Yeah, I think maybe that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm potentially going to frog this and start again with the spin cycle from my Tessellated, and then maybe I'll use this in a Tessellated vest, perhaps. Let me know what you think, because yeah, I'm unsure about that. That's in the Maybe pile as well. It's very soft though. I really want one. I'm not necessarily the biggest Andrew Mowry designs fan. I like some of them, I'm not obsessed with them. And when I first saw this I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I saw a bunch of other people, like very much like I saw Regina George knitting one, therefore I want to knit one. I saw a bunch of other people knitting them in all different shades, and I was like, oh okay, now I see the vision. Just like initially I was like, oh, it's not really me, the colours weren't really me, but I've since seen some where I'm like, and I just love how crazy bright this pink is. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna frog it, but it's not like a frog as in no more. It's gonna be frogged and restarted with the spin cycle, which I think is called Love Spell, but they might not have one called that, and then maybe I've made it up. I think it's called Love Spell. I bought most of it when I was in their store in the States, and then I needed one more skein for the Tessellated cardigan, so I bought one at Northern Spirit in Bergen. Yes, I think so. So there we are. There's my chatty times. My plan is to write a list of the ones that I want to finish, and I'm going to try and kind of organize them in terms of like the ones that are almost finished, and like maybe just finish them, just get it done, and then also by ones that I would like to finish quickest. So for example, if next time I come back, a week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll see, if I have not finished this or I'm not actively working on it, feel free to virtually slap me, because there's not much left to do. It's really thick. It's a DK underlace, like it's a chunky knit. This is probably the chunkiest knit I'll ever do. It's like a 6mm needle. I don't like really knitting with anything bigger than that, except for like a doppio. So yeah, and I will be casting on more stuff, so it's not a no cast on, it's just to try and finish some of your whips, girl, so you can actually wear the sweaters you're excited about. So that's it. Thank you so much for being here for 45 minutes, hopefully less, because I will cut out the ridiculously long time it took for me to find the project bag with the cowl, and I will see you again, hopefully not in 3 years time. Bye.